Hey guys, what's up? Alex Scott here with Consordini.com. Got another plugin review for you guys today. This one's going to be a bit of a quickie, but it's a super cool plugin that I think everybody should check out, especially if they do stuff, really modern production, vocal production particularly, or really dig like old school 80s synth sounds. This is the TAL Vocoder version 2. Now this is a free plugin that is available for download online. 100% free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can just go grab it from somewhere. I think it's hosted on a lot of the popular, kind of free VST sites. Just Googling around, you should be able to find it no problem. And it is a really great, just kind of standard straight ahead vocoder. I use it all the time. I'm going to show you guys one particular instance that I love to use it in, which is using it to add a lot of cool character to a kind of solo lead vocal. But, it's a vocoder. It does what it does. If you're not familiar with what a vocoder is, basically it's a synthesizer, but instead of using like a normal oscillator to generate the sound of the synth, it's using typically you can run anything through it, drums or whatever, but it's using like a singing or recording of a vocal or recording of some instrument as the actual wave that it's using to generate the synthesis. So when you set it up in your DAW, it's a little bit different than setting up a normal plugin because it needs both audio and MIDI. So we will have, like you can see here in this session, let me pull this down. I have my two tracks here. Oh, come back here, vocoder. I have two tracks set up for it. We have the track that has the actual vocal on it, and then we have a track that's sending it MIDI data. So I have this track coming in from my my MIDI controller, which is a Complete Control 61 over here off screen, and then I have it sending instrument output here. It's sending the MIDI data into this TAL Vocoder plugin, which will show up as a MIDI device in your DAW. And then you actually put the TAL Vocoder plugin onto the channel that contains the audio that you want it to process or use as the generation for the synthesis. So, this is typical of pretty much all vocoder plugins. I just love this one because it sounds great and it's free. Again, I love free things. Who doesn't? So just to kind of take a listen to it, an example of it being used in a track. This is a track called So Reach My Heart. It's from a record called None Such Palace that I've been working on with my good friend Veronique Van Pelt. She's an amazing singer and songwriter. Whole record's kind of a modern indie pop vibe. Really pleased with how it came out. And I really love this track in particular, So Reach My Heart, because of what we were able to do with the vocoder here. So we have our lead vocal.
You do something to the way I see things. Never look the same at that color green.
Really nice, really present, airy female pop vocal. But in context with the track, I wanted to have a little bit more dimension. So I copied her vocal takedown and, get out of here, copied her vocal takedown to a second track, added the TAL vocoder, and then played different chord voicings on my MIDI controller to match the changes of the tune, and used that to process her voice. And I also added, some nice big epic reverb on it and a few other things. I'll take all of that off so you can just kind of hear it on its own naturally.
You do something to the way I see things. Never look the same at that color green.
So really cool classic vocoder sound. But when we start bringing in, I've got a spatial widener and then Evantide's black hole reverb, a super epic, really long tail reverb. Let's give that a listen. Really pretty, really lush and very interesting texture. And then what we do is we blend the two. And you get this, it feels like a totally normal vocal, but it has this layer of ambience and texture behind it that almost sounds like a background vocalist or background harmonies or something, but it's got this synthesized texture. Here, give it a listen.
You do something to the way I see things. Never look the same at that color green.
Such a beautiful layer, and especially when you hear it in context with the track.
You do something to the way I see things. Never look the same at that color green. You may be away each day, but never has anyone so reached my heart.
Bring it up in volume a bit.
I'm still living in the way I'm feeling. Longer than we were in love, I've been grieving.
Ah, and you can hear the tail carry out. It's such a cool effect, and it's such an interesting approach to layering a vocal. But, you know, of course, if you want to use it for the really classic, like 80s vocoder sound, you can, of course, do that. If you want to run drums through it, run guitar through it, do some other interesting things, it'll obviously work on any audio signal. But this is my favorite trick to do with it, or indeed any other vocoder plugin or hardware or anything. But it's got all the, you know, typical things that you would kind of expect from a vocoder, some waveform adjustments to choose what type of waveform the vocoder is going to use as a carrier. So we have pulse for pulse width, we have saw, we have sub here, noise. So this is basically just, you know, again, shaping your waveform. Then we've got, you know, frequency band control based on where, you know, what bands you want it to create. It's, you know, it is a really, really great, just all around vocoder. And it does come with a few really, really handy plugins as well. Now, I'm not a huge synthesis wizard, so I don't get super deep into programming this whole thing and, you know, messing with all the inner workings of it, because synthesis is very, very complicated, and a vocoder is kind of, you know, very much in a class of synthesizers. But it just, in terms of, if you are looking for that sound, you know, again, whether you're doing really modern production and want to use it texturally like I do, or you're doing some more 80s vibe stuff, it's free. Who doesn't love free? It's very easy to use, comes with some really great presets, and it's just easy to tweak and get sounding how you want really, really quickly. So full 2 thumbs up recommendation from me. I love it whenever I need a vocoder type sound. That is the one that I reach for, the TAL Vocoder. But what do you guys think? Have you guys used this one before? Is this something that you've downloaded and tried out? Do you have other vocoder plugins that you prefer, or maybe a hardware unit? Whatever you guys may think, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Always love hearing from you guys. Again, my name is Alex Scott with Consordini.com. Thank you guys very, very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.